Okay, and then Kid and Law just attack her at the end. I'd rather die than let you go to the roof. This was the moment where they kind of just like stopped being any pretense of them being rivals to Luffy. I think this is a terrible moment for Kid. Um, Not because Kid's getting character development and kind of changing, but because we kind of skip over the section where his character changes and we just skip to the end point where he's just like completely complacent in his place as basically being Luffy's bitch and just being number two to Luffy and doing whatever he can to help Luffy out because he knows he can't fight Kaido himself. I don't like this. I'm putting this chapter in the lowest tier. All right. Kid is just like, it's just painful. It's just so painful. I've never seen a rival character, like a genuine, like a character that is most definitely, Oda was 100% pushing the idea of a rivalry, and even that Kid is Luffy's comparable equal in some ways. Like early in Uda, like it's just portrayal stuff. They're competing with each other. They're matching each other like step for step in terms of how much they can accomplish in the prison and stuff like that. Turns out that Luffy had just beaten a first mate, but turns out that Kid has also just beaten a Yonko commander just off screen. There's so much that implies that like these two are set to be similar. You even have Kaido commenting after he sees Luffy as Conqueror's Haki. He's like, "Oh, Kid has it too." There's so much there for Kid to be so much more. And then it's just like at every step, because you know what the craziest thing is? Here's the craziest shit. Like, it's like it doesn't stop, because we get to chapter 1071. And it's like we get to chapter 1071. Like, keep in mind, like, even when it's time for, okay, like, Kid's story is like, he starts off Wano with it being set up like he's set to be Luffy's comparable rival in some way. We don't expect him to be equal to Luffy, but we expect that it's going to be close, right? Because Oda never really, like, once Gear 4 was revealed, Oda never really tried to imply that Luffy and Law were equal. He basically made it clear, like, yeah, Luffy's just a step ahead, by far. More than a step ahead, right? You even have Law talking about, like, I can't take credit for Doflamingo, that was all Luffy. He says that directly to his crew, stuff like that, right? Even though the Gamma Knife mattered and stuff, I'm saying from Law's perspective, there's, like, Luffy, and then there's him, right? So, then Kid comes along, and we're supposed to get the sense that, like, okay, Luffy's actually competing with Kid. He never competed with Law. It seems like Kid is being made out to be Luffy's equal in a way that, like, Law wasn't, or something like that. That's how it felt early on, right? Then as the arc progressed, Kid gets nothing. He gets nothing. We get to the roof. Has the worst showing out of all 5 characters on the roof. Who does the least? Fucking Kid, right? All 5 supernovas. Kid's the one that has arguably the most drive to take down Kaido. Most personal drive to take down Kaido out of everyone there. He does the least, right? Even compared to his own subordinate. So that's embarrassing. Then he goes downstairs. He spends half the fight getting, like, fucked up by Hawkins' voodoo doll shit, so he's not contributing. And finally, it's like, okay, the voodoo doll's out of the way. Kid's gonna do something. What he does is just, like, it's just more bullshit with metal. And, like, the reality is, like, I always said, like, Kid is a better 1v1 fighter than Law, which is true, because based on what we saw again between the two of them against Big Mom, in 2v1 scenarios, Law is more effective because if he lands his hits, they're stronger, right? But who can actually compete with Big Mom 1v1? Only Kid, right? Been on this tangent many times, but Law has no, like, he didn't really do anything 1v1 against Big Mom as far as we saw, right? Kid had some good interactions with Big Mom 1v1. So, but the reality is Law contributed more overall over the course of the fight. So even in the fight that was supposed to be Kid's saving grace, right? The moment that all of the bullshit that he's gone through and everything like that, that finally we see a new side of him. Like, this is the moment that, you know, it's like rise and shine. Let's see his shit, right? Let's see him, like, actually shut some people up. He even has some badass quote after Killer takes out Hawkins. He's like, okay, now's my time to do something or something like that or whatever. Get serious or something like that, right? And then it's just like the most lukewarm milquetoast shit possible. He shoots his ultimate ability, which is a railgun, which is just like, dude, this isn't a big deal. This is like, the railgun was literally something that I would not have been surprised if pre-time skip Frankie had rolled out. If pre-time skip, or like, if the General Shogun Frankie just revealed that, hey, my ultimate technique, it's not a laser anymore, it's like a railgun, I'd be like, yeah, that's nice. Seems like a cool ability or whatever. Doesn't do much to Big Mom. It's just crazy. He gets nothing over the course of anything. Like, over the course of the entire battle. It's just the most unsatisfying shit. And then we're like, okay, maybe next time we see him, it'll be more impressive. It's like 10 chapters later. We're at 1071. We're all the way in the next arc. And like it's still just sad. It's like the home of the Giants. Elbath. Elbath? And it's like, is kid sweating? Is he scared? Is he nervous? What is this expression? Why do I see sweat? Why is he breathing heavily? Why does he look worried? Why is he so concerned about this? Like, are you guys seeing this shit? It's just like he can't even just show up on panel. He can't even show up to an island without being made to look questionable. Are you really asking, hey kid, should we go look around? Are you really asking that? When have I ever passed up on exploring an island? Oh, well, it's the home of the Giants. Oh, fuck, the home of the Giants. Well, now I'm a little nervous. What the fuck? Is he excited? You guys are saying he's excited? I don't know about excited. This doesn't look excited. This does not look excited. To me, he's breathing heavily. Question mark, like exclamation, exclamation, question mark. He's clearly sweating. This seems somewhat nervous. This seems nervous. This seems more like, hold on. Let's see. What did he look like when he first faced Kaido? Let's get an expression of that. I feel like it's got to be exactly the same thing. Why was the drawing way better then? I guess because this is the official scans and stuff. He was angry here. He was angry. I don't know. To me, he looks worried. To me, he looks worried. I'll say that. All right. Is he not sweating though? You get okay. No, like maybe it's biased. I interpreted this. I'm not trying to be biased. Maybe I've just completely misinterpreted this expression. To me, I see sweat. I see sweat. When Luffy's excited to go show up to an island, he looks very different. Granted, Kid is a different character. He probably expresses his emotions very differently than Luffy, but like this doesn't seem excited to me. This seems a little stressed. There are beads of sweat coming down his face. Am I not wrong? Am I not wrong? Who's a similar character in demeanor to Kid? Right? Like, if Law had this expression, wouldn't we say that Law's a little stressed? If Zoro had this expression, wouldn't we say Zoro's a little stressed? I don't know. This just doesn't seem excited to me, but maybe I'm misinterpreting it. All right. All right. He looks normal? I don't know. I don't know about normal.